This is Woodside Church Kids.
Hey everyone, my name is Matty and this is a video for Excite. Today we've got another session lined up with you. We've got a story coming up later and we've got a craft at the end which I'm really excited about because it's actually a really cool craft. And our story is about three people who lived a long time ago, and these people loved God. And they chose to follow God even when it's difficult, and God was with them. But before we learn a little bit more about that story in a second, we are going to play a quick game. And this quick game is called How Tall? And for this game, all you're going to need is some blocks, maybe some Lego, or you could try some wooden blocks that you've got at home. So if you want to pause some video and grab them, and then we can play this game together. So, how do we play this game? Well, all you have to do is try and build the tallest tower we can quite quickly, and it has to be able to stand up by itself. Are you ready? Have you got your blocks in front of you? Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, I think the thing, you have to work out where to start your tower. It's quite tricky, some of these blocks don't fit together quite as nicely as others. That's a bit of a weird shaped one, but I think we're going to go with it. Maybe throw an archway in there. I think that looks pretty cool. We're getting quite tall already and it's a little bit wobbly. I'm a little bit scared about what some of this might be. Let's try and build up the base a bit more. It's already getting a bit wobbly. Let's try and make it a bit stronger there. That's quite good. Alright, I'm getting a bit nervous now. I don't think it's going to be able to last too much longer because I'm getting a bit narrower at the top, a bit thinner at the top. I think we'll finish off with Jonathan the horse. Alright, I think that's a pretty impressive tower and it's on a nice solid base and it stands up by itself. I wonder how tall you could build a tower. I think if you tried really hard you might be able to build one right the way up to the moon. But that is it for our game. So I'm going to hand over to Vicky, who's going to talk about our story a little bit more. Vicky, over to you.
Hi, I'm Vicky and I'm one of the leaders at Woodside Church for the kids work, and today we're going to learn about a king, and a king who was a bit of a show-off. His name was Nebuchadnezzar, and there's three guys in this story, three men, and they've got very bizarre names, and they are called Meshach, Shadrach and Abednego. Now this show-off king loved himself so much he decided to build a huge massive statue of himself, and this show-off king said that everybody had to bow down and worship this huge statue that was in the middle of the grounds, in the middle of his land. And every time they heard some music playing, anyone anywhere had to drop down on their knees and put their heads on the floor and bow down to this statue every single time. Now this king used to have musicians who he organised, and he told to just start playing the music, and whenever that music started up, lots and lots of instruments had to bow down. Well, they did. Everybody did have to do that, but not everybody did it. So these three men called Meshach, Shadrach and Abednego, the music started playing, everyone dropped down except for them. Now what happens is when everybody does something together, it looks great, but if three people don't do it, they stand out like sore thumbs. These guys did not want to worship that statue because they knew that God, our God, was the one that they wanted to serve. These three men did not want to do it, and they said no, they were not going to bow down to Nebuchadnezzar's statue. So when the king heard about this, because they were standing up, they stood out like a sore thumb, the people who were working for Nebuchadnezzar said, "Master, these guys they've not bowed the knee, they've not bowed down to your statue." And he was really angry. And he was so angry, he shouted and said, "Right, make a very hot fire." So the king made sure that Meshach, Shadrach and Abednego were put into that fire. This was a long time ago. And they didn't die. And that king saw something amazing. because when they should have died in that fire, but they didn't, what they saw, the king saw 4 people in the fireplace. He saw Meshach, Shadrach and Abednego, and somebody else with him. Now, that man, nobody knows who it was, but God had sent somebody to be with him. Now, it could have been Jesus, it could have been an angel, it could have been God himself, who no one knows, but there was somebody in there to look after them. Nebuchadnezzar, was so amazed that he called those men out, because they not a hair on their face was burnt or any of their clothing. Everything was fine. They came out, and then Nebuchadnezzar said, "Your God is amazing. I just want to follow your God." And so he did. And because Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego chose to stand up for God, they didn't break his laws. The king learned that God was amazing, because they were doing what they were meant to do, and they learned that God was amazing. And when we stand up for God, and when we tell people that we love God, it helps other people to learn how great God is. He's an amazing God. He's so big, he's so huge, and he loves you so much, and we should do what's right for him. Now, we're going to pray, so if you want to shut your eyes, and you can put your hands together, but you don't need to, just keep still for a bit, and then I'm going to pray. And it just goes like this. Lord, help us to stand up for you and to tell people that we love you. Amen. Amen. And that's as simple as that. Do what's right and stand up for God and look out for God and choose to be different.
Hi everyone. Today's craft is called In Flames, and you're going to need some glue, sellotape, scissors, a pen, some coloured paper or colours to colour in paper, and some paper or card to make a headband. So first of all, you might need to put 2 pieces of paper together, or card if you haven't got anything long enough. We're going to stick the paper or card together and measure it around your head and make sure it's the right size to fit you. It's going to be a hat. So I'm going to use some sticky tape and stick it on. Then you need your coloured paper or some colouring pencils to make your own, and we're going to draw a flame shape onto the paper. And then cut it out. And when you've cut around your flame shape, you can have some of these tiny ones like this. Okay, now you're going to get your head band, and we're going to glue the flames on to remind us that Shadrach, Meshach and Abednego were walking through the flames and that God had kept them safe. There we go, so we're going to stick them on like that and just keep sticking. You can make as many as you want, it could go all the way around. And there you go, that's our craft, In Flames. Just want to close your eyes or say a prayer. Father, thank you that you care about us and you look after us and help us to stand up for you and tell people about you. Amen.